This is my homemade PVC sim racing cockpit that I've made. Originally I wanted a Obudu Ozone, and it was $350, and I thought that was a really good price for a very nice cockpit, but after factoring in shipping and a triple monitor stand, it was actually closer to $600, and I thought that was a bit out of my price range. So I decided, what the crap, I'll just try to build my own. So this is my attempt here. It's turned out a lot better than I originally thought. It looks nothing like I had pictured in my mind. I didn't go into this with a plan or anything. I pretty much started at the seat and worked my way forward. And the very first part was the seat here, and the last part was this T at the top here. First thing I did do was I got the seat, which is out of a 2009 Mazda 3. Very nice seat. It has no tears, rips. Yeah, I got it from a junked out Mazda 3 in a junkyard. The interior was still intact, so pulled it out and used it. And I was actually looking for like a leather seat with, you know, perforation out of a Volkswagen or a BMW or something. But from what the guy was telling me, he's like, once those spend a few weeks out in the weather, they dissolve, and he was right. So I got this seat for 25 bucks. No electronics or anything, so nothing to worry about powering. It does retain the sliding and reclining mechanisms in the seat, so you can slide it forward and back and recline it forward and backwards. Bought the seat and about 20 feet of PVC, really not knowing about how much PVC I would need. Turns out I needed a lot more than 20 feet. I mean, this, all in all, this entire assembly here is 60 feet of PVC, every bit of 60 feet, not counting the, you know, inch or 2 inch scraps left over, which there was about a Walmart bag full of those. But this is about 60 feet of PVC. It's a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. A ton of fittings. There's about 50 or 60 fittings on this thing. PVC fittings, as I have come to discover, are expensive. So this was definitely more than I thought it was going to be, but still far cheaper than the $600 Obudu Ozone that I wanted. First thing I did was I started with the seat. Here. Went and attached U-bolts to the bottom of the seat. I had to cut the seat brackets off. Cutting the seat brackets off was the hardest part of this entire thing. Cut the seat brackets off and attach these U-bolts so I could attach it to the 1.5 inch PVC pipe here. Started from about there back. All this right here was built in a day. It took about, I don't know, 2 hours maybe to put it all together. None of the PVC is glued. It is all fastened with these 14 by 3/4 inch screws here. Sorry, my camera's really crappy. I'm guessing they're 14 millimeter. I guess. I have no idea. The bag said 14, so they're 14 by 3/4. I wanted to get the biggest screws I could get with the longest threads, I guess you would say. Nice spaced threads on them. That way it would really dig into the PVC without melting it and really hold it together, because screwing these screws in at a slow speed, they get very hot going into the PVC. I was surprised, like touching it right after you screwed it in, it would burn your finger. So yeah, everything is held together with screws. I didn't want to use glue because I wanted to be able to take it apart in the future if I ever needed to, and well, gluing it together, I think you would pretty much have to cut and replace any fittings that were attached. So if I ever want to take it apart, pull out these screws here, and well, I won't say slide out the PVC because it will fight you, but you can get it apart if need be. As you can see, it's all solid white. I haven't painted it. Plan on moving into a house here in a few months, and I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment. I had to build this entire thing in pretty much the space you're looking at it sitting in. There was a lot of vacuuming every night. Took about a solid week to a week and a half maybe to get it where it is right now. I would say a week and a half to get it where it is right now. This right here, I didn't know how to mount the wheel, so I thought, well, don't get too complicated. So I went and got some 3/4 inch oak plywood, not the pine, because the oak is a lot straighter and cleaner than the pine. The pine was all warped and it was ugly. So I wrapped the went on the internet and bought a 6-foot by 3-foot sheet of speaker carpet. Wrapped the plywood in that, stapled it down, and attached it with these 2-inch U-bolts to the structure, to the PVC structure. It's very, very solid. This whole rig is really solid. It's not flimsy. I mean, the whole thing is sitting on the ground. When you sit on the ground, you're sitting, 6 inches off the ground. And I love, 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 love the way it feels. It's so much better than sitting at a desk. Your legs are a bit more stretched out. They're a bit more, they're a bit more of a, I don't know what I'm trying to say. They're closer to a, okay, I'll just say they're more straighter. That's a good word, more straighter. They're more straighter when you're sitting in it than when you're sitting at a desk. Feels really good. You feel like you got more control over the pedals. The pedals did the same thing. 3/4 inch plywood wrapped in speaker carpet, and I attached the pedals with the Logitech Driving Force GT pedals. Yes, baby. You're not getting another donut. I love you. Don't wipe your face on the couch. Go sit down, please. Did you eat that whole donut? Holy crap. All right, go sit down. I love you. And huh? You go sit down and watch Powerpuff Girls, please. I love you. Sit down. Thank you. Anyway, the Logitech Driving Force GT pedals have no bottom mounting point. So, I got some of these little doohickeys right here, and drilled some pilot holes in the pedals and the pilot holes in the, well, they don't really need pilot holes in the wood, but screwed them in, and they are very solid. They don't move at all. They don't move a bit. This whole thing is just rock solid. The monitors I have attached with these $15. They were like $14.99 or something. These monitor arms off eBay, and finding a decent triple monitor stand, you're gonna pay $200 to $350 for a really good triple monitor stand. And obviously that was way out of budget. This whole thing was being built with budget in mind. So I looked and looked and looked and finally found these on eBay, delivered from Texas, for $15 each. And I figured out why they're so cheap. As you can see here, this hardware here does not match the black hardware that came with the supports. That is because as I was tightening these down, the original ones, threads just sheared right off, just stripped out the bolts as I was tightening them down. So I had to go spend $10 and buy replacement hardware at Lowe's. I think this is Class 8 hardware. Same bolts, 6 millimeter by 1.0 metric bolts for all 3 monitor mounts. Took my leveled all the screens, and arrange them as so. So $45 for 3 monitor mounts that I attach with these U-bolts to the structure. I got a new phone, so I use my own phone. This is the iRace Dash app. It's really neat because you can scroll through the screen here, and as you're coming into pit lane, you don't have to worry about clicking on your tires, which one you want to change, or your fuel. You just push a button and it will change your tires. You can adjust your air pressure. That's a really cool app, and I love having that. I actually got a Google Nexus 7 from my wonderful sister for Christmas, so I was thinking about mounting that somewhere so I would be able to use this as my permanent tachometer, and then use my tablet as a change my tire pressure and all that stuff. This stand right here, got that at Walmart. This is a flexible stand. I don't know what's inside here, but it is extremely stiff. This thing, once you put it in that position, it does not move from there. This thing is rough. Yes, honey. In a minute, baby. It's extremely tough. I would not suggest going to Walmart to buy this, though. This was $20 at Walmart. This can be had for like $7 on Amazon. It's the exact same one. This is Scosche brand. They're all the same. They all come from the same Chinese plant made by 3-year-olds or whatever. They just put different names on them. So I would not recommend paying $20 for this at Walmart. I did because I didn't want to wait for it, pretty much, because I'm a loser like that. I attached it using these zip ties. Just zip tied it to the thing here, and it works marvelously. This whole rig, everything you see, except the monitors. Oh, by the way, the monitors. I originally had this monitor. This is a 19-inch Dell widescreen monitor. I have had that monitor for, wow, a long time. Dell made thousands of these monitors. I forget the name, SEP19W something, but they made thousands of these. I got this one back in 07 or 2006. So this is a very old monitor. I wanted a triple monitor setup, obviously, because triple monitor setups are just I love you too, baby. They're just amazing because the immersion that it gives you in the game and the field of view, it's incredible. It's like I could never go back to having one monitor. I wouldn't even race if I had to use one monitor. Went on Craigslist, had this one for a long time. Went on Craigslist, wanted to find another one like that, and I did. I found this one, got it for $35, exactly like the one I had. So I paid $35 for a second monitor. Then I looked on Craigslist some more, found another one just like it, but the guy wanted like $80 for it, and I was like, well, I can probably find a different one. So I found this one for $50. This is a Acer monitor. It's much brighter than my Dell monitors, as you can tell. You know, when you're doing 185 miles an hour around Charlotte, you really don't notice the darkness that much or anything. But yeah, I paid $85 for 2 additional monitors on Craigslist. So if you're on a budget trying to make your own cockpit, look on Craigslist for monitors, because there was hundreds of them on there. 22 and 23-inch monitors for like $100. So just look around and you can find deals on Craigslist. One day I would like to upgrade. I would like some 27-inch monitors, and because of the adjustable arms here, I can easily do that if I want to. I can slide arms up and down the PVC and move them in and out, so pretty much have whatever I want. Total cost of this thing was about $265. That is not including the monitors. That's all the PVC, the fittings, the plywood, the carpet, the seat, the U-bolts, all the hardware, screws, and the monitor arms. It was all about $265. I spent quite a bit more because I didn't have any power tools to cut this with. I went to Lowe's and spent like, oh god, how much was it? $140 on like a 4-piece 18-volt power tool set. Got the extra monitors. That was $85 for the extra monitors. $265 for all this, and I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much more than sitting at a desk. I used to have a I forgot what it was called. I used the DFT over there, or the Driving Force GT. It was a stand that you used on your couch. I used that for a long time. That was nothing compared to this. This thing is just absolutely amazing. I sat in the seat for a long time, took all the measurements. This bar right here, if I get a nice fat tax return, I'm going to buy a Logitech G27 and mount the shifter right there on there. I'll have to cut out another piece of plywood, get some more U-bolts. I got plenty of those left over. Carpet, that is. And mount it right there. And but man, this thing is it's amazing. It's just so much fun to use. So $265 is how much this beautiful Frankenstein creation I have created was cost. $265. And I love it. Love it so much. Oh God, I'm gonna cry. So there you go. So that was my custom PVC racing cockpit.